Hello again, everyone. Hope you're doing well, feeling better than yesterday. Because that's the name of the game. If every day we can feel a little bit better than yesterday, or at least sort out the stuff that was occupying our mind the day before, and that means we've figured it out. And that's good. Tonight, what I want to discuss with you is pretty much probably what most of you, if not all of you, or us boys at certain age, us men, young men, you young men, I men, man, not old, just older than you. So I think what we, most of us have from time to time or at one time or other been preoccupied and conscious of or bothered with when we break up, especially at a younger age, is the fact that we think there's something wrong with us that they left us. So that means we're not as good as somebody else that they may be with, or somebody else that they left us for, or somebody else that they will eventually meet sometime in their life in the future. So we always have this fear of if somebody else is better than us, right? And most importantly, we attribute it at some age, some time of our life, when a breakup happens, if we weren't man enough, or as man as we should have been, or we could have been, or as man as, maybe that's why they left us, because we didn't do a good job when we were making love or something. These are the questions that especially young men, young people have in their minds, that why she left me. And then because they really don't know, they attribute it to their masculinity, manhood, the way they make love, or if they were gorilla or not, if they were, I don't know. They attribute it to all these questions in their head, which gonna bug the hell out of them. So let us tonight become philosophical and go deeply, psychologically understand this question. And then for you would be something to ponder, and it will probably straighten you out that you will never ever again attribute any breakup to your manhood, as sexual abilities or size or whatever the heck it is that at that age you guys are constantly thinking that is the most important thing in your life, that she left me because somebody else is more man than I am, somebody else more good looking than I am, somebody else got more muscle than I have, somebody else is better man or better young man than I am, somebody else, or what about me, was I good enough, maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe she's the one who decides that I'm a man or not, all these questions. And therefore I want to put an end to that, and you got to be with me on this. So let's go at it. Let's find out why breakups happen. I know I've discussed this many times. I don't know how I can get it into your heads so you can be free and not attribute any breakup to your manhood, how good you are, how wonderful you are, and everything else. And understand there is psychological explanation and root understanding of reasons for breakup. It could be many reasons, but as far as this particular question is in your head, we can at least clear that up. All right, here we go. Look. Everybody from 1,000 years ago whether they knew it or not, always were looking for order. Order. And they always had problem with disorder. And let's focus on what this order is and what the disorder is, at least from one angle. Order usually would be the things that fits you, fits your center, your wholeness. What is your center? Your center is who you are, which includes everything that is in your memory, your consciousness, your desires, your dogmas, your fears, your anxieties, your how you've been trained, the experiences you've had, your ego, all of that, from what you learned from your families and schools and societies and communities you lived in, how they treated you, how you were treated, what you saw, what you did, and what you read. And then through generations, through genes and conditioning, and all that has come to you, and you have become this person with all these information, which is actually what makes you tick. That you operate on that field. Whatever you do, whatever you think, is based on the information that has come to you in your consciousness through all these experiences and these knowledges that have come to you somehow. And your thoughts and your activities and behavior is operating based on that field that we just talked about. And together, all of that makes you, whole of you, the center, your center, who you are. So the order would be, in my opinion, what would not tip the center, disrupt, distract, disturb this center, meaning how this center, you, your person, your wholeness, how you want this center be, the way you are, the way you think, your habits, your dogmas, your fears, your desires, your anxieties, your egos, your needs, and all of that information. It's your wholeness, your center. So as long as nothing disturbs this order that you have made, based on what you are, that's your order. If nothing is disturbed, nothing is changed, then you feel you have order in life. Make sense? The disorder would be anything that interrupts this. Yeah, you have an ego and then you can't get it, or something happens, or you feel like, oh, that's against what my ego wants to do, what my desire, of fear. All of that is something that disturbs your center, your wholeness, and that creates disorder. We're not talking about the hunger and all these things. We're talking about psychological things, because that also is a different disorder, but it's a physical need for sustenance and so on. We're not talking about shelter and all that, so forth. So we know what center is, we know what your wholeness is, we know what order is, and we know what disorder is. Okay. Now, do you think that everybody's center, everybody's wholeness, everybody's experiences, memories, information that they have come to by reading or seeing, or the community they lived in, or their fears and anxieties and egos, is it all the same? Do you think everybody's these information and so on that we just, is it all the same? Therefore their wholeness, their center would be the same? Well, obviously not. It's not the same, right? They each are raised, born different part of the world, different societies, different communities, different experiences they saw, different traditions, different things they were taught, different things they learned in school and from their parents, from all these things that happen, different experiences, experiences and things that happen to them. So different information they gathered based on different things happened to them. So if that is different, and then that is what creates their center, their consciousness, and the whole thing creates their wholeness, their center. So their center, their wholeness would be different than yours. And everybody else's would be different. Everybody has their own wholeness, their own center. Why? Because we just talked about it. They raised differently, saw different things, learned different things, traditions, the genes, and all these conditionings schools and whatever traditions and the movies and the books and people that they came in contact to and all that. So if that's what makes their wholeness, their center, and we know that each person goes through different upbringing, therefore their center of wholeness must be different. Now, so you agree that when you get together with your girlfriend, she has a different center, wholeness, made differently. Consciousness is different, different information. Even if you're in the same city, families, things they taught, the things they saw, the experiences, all different. So if her center, her wholeness is different, and your center, your wholeness is different, as it is everybody else's different, and we said that if your wholeness, your center, nothing disturbs what your center is made out of, then you have order. But then when two of you get together, you have different center, different wholeness, different way of being and doing things, different memory, different consciousness, and she has different. So guess what? You want to do some things differently, you see things differently based on what's in here, your center. She wants it differently, she wants to do this differently, and based on what's in here, her center, her taste, her needs, her ego, her desires, her fears, there's a very good chance that you guys will have different. So what she does is going to be disturbing your center because it's not based on what you have up here. She's acting and based on what she has up here. So what she does, it could create disturbance in your center. And what you do, it could be different than what she mostly is used to and has her center made out of. So it could create disturbance in her center, her wholeness, which we said if something disturbs the center wholeness, brings disorder. So if there is a disorder and we like to have order, whether we know it or not, that's what we are pursuing in life, eventually the tolerance ends, both of you, and because of you want to pursue your own desires, your own plans, your own thought process, your own, and take care of your own and protect yourself from your own fears and navigate your life differently based on what your center and wholeness tells you to do to create the order that we all want, obviously you're going to give up that tolerance, and after a while you decide you want to be separated from each other. You break up. And then you start telling yourself, oh, she broke up with me because somebody else was more handsome. Somebody else makes love better to her than I did. And if she is questioning, she says, oh, maybe another girl is prettier than I am. And maybe, he likes, you like that other girl better. And all these questions in both minds, and really, in most cases, got nothing to do with you finding another girl more desirable. With you thinking that she's not, there's something wrong with her, and with her thinking that you're not man enough or somebody else, can make better love to her than you can. It most often has nothing to do with any of these. And it's all because of you have naturally so, without really meaning to, just following your own center, your own wholeness, what you're made out of, you create disturbance in his order, and he creates disturbance in your order, and you create disorder in both your lives and your days. Yeah? It's like a calm ocean when something falls into it. It goes up and down, right? And if it wants to settle down, it tries to kind of ignore what's fell in it so it can reach its own tranquility again. And then you say, oh, I fell into it, but then if something else falls into it, maybe she likes that better, like if she's the ocean. But believe me, the disturbance on her center is going to be created no matter if it's you or somebody else. And disturbance in your center is going to be created, and disorder will be created no matter if you're with her or you're with somebody else. At one point in time, you will get fed up. She will get fed up. Or at least the disturbances that you guys unknowingly and naturally creating each other's center and create the disorder will show itself and will take effect, and you guys will eventually think that the answer is in parting and hoping that you will find somebody better or somebody that would attend to your needs or your desires, or you would be able to dominate them in order to create your own center. These are the, you may not think of it, but this is really what you're pursuing to achieve. And that's why you break up, because you have hopes to, but you don't understand that it is not really them creating it, it's a mutual creation of disorder. You know? And so you break up. And then you go through all the steps and pain and so on, and you start making stories about it. Oh, you know, she cheated me, she this and that, she didn't want me, she lied to me. It's not all that. It's all because you're all in pursuit of something that would serve your center, that would create least amount of disturbance. That's why you may decide to create a mutual center, the meaning talk to each other, figure out what's not really working, try to create a mutual understanding of each other's shortcomings, each other's strengths, and each other's acceptable levels of things in life. It's very difficult, because then you got to go back and be raised together to acquire all those similar information and experiences, which is difficult. But at least you can create, say, listen, let's see if we can create a certain policy or certain center that it would mutually be respected by both of us, and it would end up creating the least amount of disturbance in our center, because we have lots of things in common, and therefore least amount of disorder. So hopefully that helps you to think about it a little bit and go deep in the psychological end of the things and why breakups happen, and stop blaming yourself and your manhood, or if you're a lady, your womanhood, and thinking that somebody else is better than you, and da 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 da. So go deep and find out this is a natural process. Breakup is a natural process of making up. If you get together, the next step, eventually, it is very possible, not 100%, it's very possible that there will be a breakup at some point. And that's not necessarily directly your fault or her fault all the time. It's based on this natural occurrence of disturbance in the center, which creates disorder, and that's what we all run away from in the hope of arriving to order. Have a nice day. Wish you a wonderful evening or day, and talk to you soon. And think about what I said.